Look like you're thinking.
Yeah, no, because we totally agree with you.
Okay.
So have you heard of Students for Life?
I have.
We're wanting to start a chapter on Wichita State campus.
We're in the process of starting it. We just have to like get it finalized. But so it's really good that you're doing this.
Well, are you familiar with the abolition movement?
I think I've heard of it. I think I've seen it on Instagram.
You know much about it?
Not really.
Well, I'm an abolitionist. I used to be in the pro-life movement, and I gotta be. He's been sticking around, and
I know it's cool.
It's my preaching buddy. Just keeps flying around. But let me help you. What are your names?
I'm Savannah.
Savannah and Kaylee. Good. I'm Nicholas. Yeah. It's good to meet you. I'm gonna give this to. This goes into abolition and basically like the distinction between pro-life and abolition.
Okay.
And
I like that.
Basically there's and go into some of why I and other Christians have left the pro-life movement, which that might not make sense at first. It might, but like the does it make sense at first? Like to like when you hear that?
I think I could see it because I do see some flaws, especially like when pro-choicers bring it up about how we only care about being like the baby coming out of the woman, and then we don't care about it.
Well, that's just a smokescreen they throw up. I mean, it has no basis in reality.
Okay.
I hear it too, and it's like,
I know.
Okay, well, you can believe lies.
We have a lot of ways to support them.
So it's
but...
I guess just based on
so okay, Savannah, one of
the abolition.
Katie and Savannah. Savannah and Katie, okay.
The abolition movement so are you guys basically like all for abolishing abortion? Is that what it is?
Basically for immediately criminalizing it, and not that we expect that it's going to end overnight. I mean, we know it's because we've been doing this for years.
Would your goal be to criminalize the women who are getting these abortions, or would it be to criminalize the abortionists performing the procedure?
Well, what would happen basically is once this is criminalized, because it's not criminalized right now. Once it's criminalized, right, and and they're enforcing the law that anyone who murders a child, you'll be put on trial to determine if you're guilty or not.
Yeah.
If you're not guilty, you're not punished. If you are guilty, then they'll determine your level of guilt, and according to your level of guilt, you're punished. Just like we punish murderers, people who murder people outside the womb. And
that really makes sense.
the pro-life movement actually firmly opposes that, though. They say that every mom who murders her baby, every mom who murders her child in the womb is a victim who should never be punished. And it's like, and to make that clear, or just to articulate it, abolitionists aren't saying, and pro-lifers say that we believe this, which is like, no, we don't. That it's like retrospective that you just want to go hunt down moms who murdered their babies over the past 54 years. It's like, nope, I don't think any abolitionist said that. No. It's like, we believe that once, and the Constitution doesn't allow for that. It actually says that no law is retroactive, meaning that you punish people once they commit a crime. And because this is not recognized right now as a crime, it is a crime, but it's not recognized as one, if that makes sense. And so abolitionists basically hold to what God says, that the Bible says, whoever sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God he created man. That if you murder your baby, you should be punished. The Bible calls for the death penalty. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone, like once this is criminalized, that everyone's going to be put to death. It depends on how guilty you are. I mean, if you murder your baby with malice and forethought, you should be put to death. Once this is criminalized. And but that's why we have a court of law to determine how, like witnesses, it's not just hearsay, witnesses, the evidence, but like if you look at the pro-life movement, Students for Life, Kristen Hawkins, and like most pro-life leaders, they firmly oppose abolishing the murder of children. They believe in that. Well, a big reason why if not the biggest reason why they oppose it, is because they say, well, every mom is a victim who murders her child. And it's like, well, what about moms who murder their born children?
Yeah.
A mom who drowns her child in the bathtub, is she a victim too? She just waited a little bit too long.
In their backyard.
What's that?
Said there was a case around here in Wichita a few years ago where this mom killed her son, buried him in concrete in her backyard,
It's in
and just
Rose
left
Hill.
him. Yeah.
Rose Hill.
So was she a victim?
No. argument though, because I think there are a lot of women who really are lied to by these abortionists, and they're so lied to that they've convinced themselves that it's not murder. So to them, they're not committing any crime because they don't think that the growing human inside of them is living. And that's obviously not to excuse their ignorance and to say that it's not murder, but it is to say that I would argue that those women are victims. Now, there are a lot of women who do know it's murder and choose to do it anyways, and I would say that they are the problem.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's black and white. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, yeah. And again, that's why people who are accused of a crime, they have they go before court and like they have a jury of their peers to like hear all the arguments and like, did this person really know what they were doing?
Yeah.
Were they coerced? Were they forced? Well, even if you're coerced, you're still guilty, right? Because someone could put a gun to my head and tell me go do this. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it.
Like, you have your
Shoot
free
me.
will.
And so like, and abolitionists have dealt with that recently, like not having duress and an abolition bill. Like it's like just because you have pressure doesn't mean you should murder your child.
Exactly.
Because Jesus said, whoever wishes to save his life will lose it.
Mm-hmm.
But whoever will lose his life for my sake, he is the one who will save it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like that. So even if you have pressure, it's like there's pressure to do all kinds of wicked stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you choose to do it. But yeah, and like even today, I mean, if you're on Facebook regularly, I see it.
Yeah.
Moms who are brazen about murdering their children.
Exactly.
Yes.
And and they'll admit they're murdering their babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even those who like would say whether they're lying or not, they say, well, this isn't. It's like deep down, and like I stand at Planned Parenthood regularly, and almost no one out there accepts my offer of help. So like, because if they really were needy and needed help, they would take me up on the and the Christians who go out there, they take us up on the offer of help.
Yeah.
A few do, but very few.
Yeah.
And so and we've had a bill of abolition here in Kansas for the last few years, and why it's been why it won't even get a hearing. You know why? Well, it's the pro-life movement.
Yeah.
It's Speaker of the House Dan Hawkins has refused to give the bill a hearing.
So then, what's the difference explicitly between the abolition movement versus pro-life?
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say it's one distinct thing. It's the first thing is this: the pro-life movement's not gospel-centered.
Okay.
It's let's do what we think will work, what will survive the courts, what will not get shot down by the governor or the Supreme Court. The abolition movement is let's obey God.
Okay.
So the pro-life movement, it's not about obeying God first and foremost. It's not about glorifying God. It's about let's save babies. And in order to save babies, we're going to compromise. We're gonna even do evil that good may come. And it's actually and they actually and to kind of put it bluntly, and let me know if this doesn't make sense. It probably will now after explaining that. The pro-life, not all people in the pro-life movement, but the movement like as a whole, they would rather protect murderers, moms who murder their children, than the children they murder.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
Like after maybe having explained that?
Yeah.
Because when you have a bill that would, that protects children, that means you have to punish those who murder them, right? Well, basically when it comes down to it, it's like, well, if this bill is if this means that once this is criminalized and enforced, that we got to punish murderers, then we're going to shoot this down and let babies continue to be murdered.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I think so, yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. That's why I ask if it makes sense, because at first, it's like, wait a minute.
It sounds kind of odd.
It does sound odd
Yeah.
because it's like I thought the pro-life movement wanted to stop this. It's like, no.
Yeah, because they want to stop abortion, but it's like they just were more so stop the abortion in itself.
Well, there's been a lot of indoctrination, and I think I used to hold to this a little bit maybe because I used to hold signs, and I held like a banner years ago that said every basically abortion, one dead, one wounded. I would not hold that today because it's like it's teaching that the mom's a victim.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, with a few exceptions, like where moms are tied down, which happens more in communist nations like China, doesn't really happen here for the most part. There are exceptions. The moms, they walk in freely.
Yeah.
Like when I'm at Planned Parenthood, I I don't really see moms being dragged in there with a gun to their head, being, bound and gagged, dragged in by their boyfriend or husband. They walk in freely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's their. Some of them will jump for joy by murdering their babies, but they're walking in freely. They're not victims, and so that's why. And I encourage you to look that up. I paid a lot of attention to abolitionist interactions with Students for Life and with Kristen Hawkins, and see what she says herself.
Yeah.
And because one thing I saw, this is maybe 2 or 3 years ago, there was an abolition bill in Idaho, and she actually, I don't know all the details, but she actually, I believe, came to Idaho and firmly opposed the abolition bill. And I think she wrote a letter, opposing it, but I don't recall all the details. But because Savannah and Katie, are you Christians?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That another reason why I explain this to Christians and pro-lifers is that if I didn't know this until, I don't know, maybe I started learning about abolition maybe back in 2016, maybe 15, so about 10 years ago. And I was thinking, you're probably familiar with the Value Them Both Amendment?
Yes.
A little bit. And that was a few years ago, but when I found out about what was happening with that Christians and pro-lifers were going door to door, putting bumper stickers on cars, putting yard signs out, I actually read the bill and studied it. I'm like, this is horrible. And I asked people, have you read this thing? Because I've read it and it makes me sick to my stomach. Because it's, and this, I don't know if I have, oh, you might appreciate this actually. National Right to Life.
Okay.
That's, I know I'm kind of going off a little bit here, but they actually had their conference in Overland Park recently, back in June. So we were there handing that out. And a lot of these pro-life groups, Kansans for Life, National Right to Life, they're not what people think they are. They're not what Christians think they are. They're not trying to end this.
Yeah.
They're just regulating it. And they're, for example, the Value Them Both Amendment. What is the paragraph that would have put into the Constitution if it had passed, the Kansas Constitution? It started with the words, regulation of abortion. Does that seem odd, like regulation of abortion? Change it to regulation of murder.
Yeah.
Does that seem crazy?
Yeah.
Regulation of rape, regulation of wife beating. Is like, we just changed the A word, which is a euphemism for murder, to murder, regulation of murder. And Christians, even well-meaning Christians, supported that.
Yeah.
And it's like, because the pro-life groups were saying this is what we got to do. It's like, says who? I know it's sunny out here.
I know. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
And we can, if that'd be helpful, because the sun's like right here. But and also the Value Them Both Amendment, it actually had exceptions for rape, incest, life of the mother. And Christians around America were pushing for that hard. Our Christians around here in Kansas were pushing that thing hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, this will actually put murder in the Constitution.
That was one of the things that I was talking about with one of my friends, because I was like, I wonder, because I was like, if the mother's life is at risk, would you abort the baby? And then he's like, if it came down to it, abortion shouldn't have been an option because you can still look into it. And we've talked about this before, about there's still options and there's still time if you have regular checkups and you take care of your body like you're supposed to be. Complications at birth shouldn't be a problem. So then at the end of the day, abortion shouldn't even be an option to start with. Yeah.
Well, when you define it as the premeditated murder of a child with malice aforethought, not an option.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's really difficult because there's also the language of abortion is used differently on the right than it is on the left, which I didn't even realize until people had started commenting it at me, and I was like, what are you talking about? But so I had to do research on my own, but there's a difference between lawful abortion, medical abortion, and then just abortion used in world conversations, which is very interesting to me. So I think the left will describe miscarriage as a spontaneous abortion, which is
I've heard
literally an oxymoron, so that doesn't even make sense, because an abortion is the deliberate termination of a pregnancy. That's what it's defined as. And So how can it be both spontaneous and deliberate? It
Spontaneous,
can't.
deliberate, murder.
All pregnancy's in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And-
well, and that's the thing. Like, I think some medical practices will be like, oh, it's an abortion. It's because we deliberately ended the pregnancy, but the baby wasn't murder. It like was delivered to term, but they call it an abortion. So that's really interesting.
Well, I mean, babies are delivered all the time, right?
Yeah.
And miscarriages, that's not, and I explain that to people, and
This bee does not want to go away. It likes it
yeah,
here.
that's all right. He's my preaching buddy. He's I'm not actually allergic to bees, but it's like, you know, as long as I don't bother him, you know, he's not actually liking being here, but that, yeah, and there's a book on that ectopic life by Bill Fortenberry.
Okay.
If you want to, it's a very short book. And he has a YouTube presentation on it. Like, if you want to learn more about that, all the cases where babies that were out of place, out of the uterus, both mom and child survived, and many cases of that happening, and so that but does that make sense? Like the difference between pro-life and abolition, that basically pro-life movement is about regulating how, when, and where moms can murder their babies, and that every mom, regardless of situation or circumstance, every mom should walk free, be able to walk free. No matter if she murders one child or 15 children, she should be able to walk free because she's a quote-unquote victim. Abolitionists hold to the Bible that no, you punish the evildoer. That again, once it's criminalized, that we believe in equal justice, equal protection.
Okay, yeah.
But you can't have equal justice if you're allowing murderers to walk free.
So then what I've heard is, where would the death penalty be biblical? Because I've heard a lot of people say that the death penalty isn't biblical. Or not necessarily not biblical, it's just not like the kind thing to do.
The kind thing to do.
Or like the Christian thing to do. I don't know.
Christians arguing that, or just like
Some people
I've heard Christians argue that the
some
death penalty is
people who
wrong.
would proclaim to be Christians
Yeah.
would say that. Yeah.
did they give any biblical evidence for that?
No.
Of
course not.
I feel
Not that I've seen,
I
no.
feel like they've thrown out verses, but they feel very cherry picked. So I can't remember off the top of my head, but they do definitely try to.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the loving thing to do is, I mean, we have the death penalty. I mean, that shows the respect for a human life, that they're made in God's image, right? And
So that's what I'm thinking, is that we're like, us as humans aren't allowed to take a life like God is. And so
Well,
that's what I feel like death penalty would be, is taking that life against God's will.
right, I mean, it is right to, like, you have justified force regarding, like, to protect other people, or to, you know, protect your family.
Yeah.
But like when you take someone's life just with malice aforethought and murder them, then yeah, there should be punishment for that, because we're all image bearers of God. It shows our value. And when you oppose that, you're saying this person's not an image bearer of God, they have no value or very little value.
Yeah.
And, you know, no different than an animal or something. And if that makes sense. And so yeah, the Bible calls for the death penalty for if you murder someone. You know, life for life.
What verse was that? I haven't heard
That's
that.
in Genesis 9:6.
Okay.
Whoever
Actually,
sheds
not
man's
biblically-
blood.
I like to say that in biblically verse, but I'm really not.
Well, you know, it's no better time to start than now, right?
I know, right?
It's
Desire I have, but my brain's so small.
well, I mean, these things I've had to impound in my own mind over the years, and some I still, you know, I'm trying to pound in there and not sticking that well.
Genesis 6:9 or 9:6?
So Genesis 9:6,
Whoever
and
sheds human blood, by human shall their blood be shed. For in the image of God has God made man.
let's see here. Oh, this also too. Deuteronomy 19, in verse 11 through 13.
Yeah, if anyone takes a human life, that person's life will be taken by human hands.
Wait a second. Deuteronomy what?
Deuteronomy 19, verses 11 through 13. That actually also describes what the pro-life movement, the opposite of what the pro-life movement's doing. That. So in verse 11 of Deuteronomy 19, that's the definition of murder.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's pro-choice. Oh yeah, I remember you.
Yep. So so the verse 13 of Deuteronomy 19, I don't know if you just brought that up or not, but God says regarding the person who murders, you shall not pity him, but you shall purge the blood of the innocent from Israel, that it may go well with you.
Okay.
So what the pro-life movement does is it pities murderers. And I hope that makes sense based on what I've explained so far.
Yeah, no, that's making sense.
That-
Because I used to be for the death penalty, like just blindly, but then it is more gray than a lot of people I think like to make it out to be. But I don't know.
Well, it's
Definitely a touchy subject, and it's something that I think each person
Yeah,
has
no.
to develop their own opinion on.
No, it's definitely something I went back and forth on.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, every life has value, and I like to think of Saul whenever he was persecuting and murdering Christians, but then God used him for good.
well, there are cases like with Saul and David in the Bible where they don't get the death penalty when they should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not like, but that's not across the
not
board.
yeah, those are the. I feel like that's like the exception.
Those are the exceptions, yeah.
Extenuating, yeah.
Like, and God can show mercy and
Yeah.
not put someone to death when they deserve it. But yeah, those are the exceptions. Generally, though, someone commits murder, they should be put to death. Once it's been proven that they have murdered someone.
Okay.
And of course, when you don't punish people for their crimes, well, we see, in America, I mean, all the time people are not punished for their crimes.
Yeah.
Like, not going to it, but some I saw recently in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
a guy,
Yeah.
familiar, the guy,
Where he raped that
a
woman
rapist,
and
and
killed her.
he got off scot-free,
Yeah. Yeah,
basically.
I'm from there.
And so,
God.
and that's, one of how many cases.
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes 8:11, that right there, the Bible says, Ecclesiastes 8:11, because the sentence against an evil deed is not executed quickly, therefore the hearts of the sons of men among them are given fully to do evil. So since we have laws on the books currently that protect murderers, moms who murder their children, rather than protecting their children, then the hearts. Oh, he's come by before, but
God bless him.
what?
I said God bless him.
But the hearts of people are given fully to do evil, and that goes into also, like, if I can explain this, clearly, that like you said earlier, people think it's kind or compassionate to not punish murderers. It's actually the opposite, or to have laws that punish murder, because the Bible says in Galatians 3:24 that the law is a tutor that leads you to Christ, so that you may be justified by faith. So right now we have laws on the books that say, like here in Kansas, called Alexa's Law. It recognizes that a child in the womb is an unborn child, a human being. That's murder if you take the life of that baby, but has an exception for moms who murder their children soon enough in the womb.
Interesting.
And so the law is teaching. I mean, we all know it's murder.
Yeah.
But the law is teaching women that, you can murder your baby and you'll walk free. There's no punishment for you.
I've never been stung by a bee.
Is that making you nervous?
A little bit.
Here,
Okay.
little buddy, come back over here. There you go. come on over, the person that's allergic to you,
Yeah.
to the bee. But so like, it's actually kind to put forth laws that criminalize behavior, because it's a deterrent. Right now, our laws do not deter moms from murdering their babies. It actually encourages them to murder their children, because, well, there's no punishment. There's not even a slap on the wrist.
Exactly.
Not even this.
Yeah.
There's no punishment whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the pro-life movement has done that for decades, put forth these laws, thinking that's compassionate. It's actually the opposite,
Yeah.
because it's teaching murderers that they're good. If you're a victim, you're not evil, right?
That they're justified. Yeah.
If you're a victim, then that means you're not the perpetrator of the crime. You're the one that the crime's been perpetrated against.
Yeah.
So it's doing the opposite for moms who murder their children, teaching them that you're not going to go to hell because you're a victim.
Yeah.
You murder all your babies, or however many babies, and there's no punishment for you. So it's not kind to the children they murder. It's not kind to them. It is kind to call it what it is. Like, if you murdered your baby, you're a murderer.
Yeah.
The good news is that Jesus Christ saves murderers.
Yeah.
And I tell people that I know serial killers, moms who murdered 3, 4, 5 babies who have been born again, who Jesus Christ has saved. And so but if you don't give them the law and the gospel, then you're leading them straight to hell.
Yeah.
So the pro-life movement with their teachings, however well-meaning it was, whether they probably didn't intend for that, but they have taught millions of murderers that you're good, and these aren't children, or they are children, but we're not going to protect them.
Exactly.
So, and again, check out Students for Life, their position on it.
Yeah.
And they, in fact, one thing you might find very interesting is this is on, I think it's still on YouTube. There was a podcast that Lila Rose and Kristen Hawkins were both on. It was a Whatever podcast. And they were debating this pro-murder guy.
Uh-huh.
And the question came up, basically, what should happen to women who murder their babies? Of course, they use the A word, who have abortions, but who murder their children. And Kristen Hawkins gave the standard pro-life answer, they're victims that shouldn't be punished. The pro-murder guy called her out on her hypocrisy.
Uh-huh.
He's like, that is the worst answer ever.
Yeah.
If you believe this is murder, there should be punishment.
Yeah.
I'm like, he got it. The pro-murder guy got it, and Kristen Hawkins didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's like, you should be the one schooling him on it. He's schooling you on it.
Okay.
So the irony of that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, and I encourage you to watch it. It shouldn't be hard to find.
Yeah.
Just it's the Whatever podcast,
Okay.
where Kristen Hawkins answers that question.
Okay, yeah.
I think Lila Rose answered too, but I don't recall her answer.
That's okay.
But Kristen Hawkins just gave the standard pro-life answer.
Yeah.
No, women are victims. They don't know. They don't know what they're doing. Basically, they're too stupid to know what they're doing. No, they're not. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And should never be punished. And sometimes those who are pro-murder will call you out on it. It's like, no, if this is murder, then you should be punished for murdering, committing murder. So I just thought that was quite interesting that, leave it to the wicked to call out a pro-life leader for her inconsistency. And there's a website called notavictim.org.
Uh-huh.
Continue drinking from the fire hydrant here. But if you check that out, notavictim.org, that goes into I got videos on there too, posts, pictures, videos of moms boasting about murdering their babies, people boasting about, kill them kids, kill all the babies.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times over the years.
Constantly.
So it's just, we know.
Yeah.
And if there ever was a point that people were more ignorant, those days are gone.
Yeah.
Even back in the 90s, people knew. But today, there's I see that regularly. Kill them babies, kill the kids.
Yeah.
I hear it regularly when I'm on the streets.
Yeah.
And so but that's why this Holocaust continues.
Yeah.
Because of national right to regulate murder, I call them. National right to life,
Yeah.
Kansas for life. And Kate and
Kaylee.
which one?
Kaylee.
Kaylee, okay.
Savannah.
And Savannah. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was Kate. Okay, Kaylee. So I encourage you to really look into more into Students for Life,
Yeah.
and just consider, should we really set up a group for an organization that opposes equal justice?
Yeah.
And because that's and because you want to because if you, it sounds like you truly want this Holocaust to end, right? Well, Students for Life doesn't.
Yeah.
Not based on all that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And it does sound kind of crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And national right to life, they don't want to end it. They just want to regulate it.
Yeah.
And I'd even ask them I say abolitionists talk to Kristen Hawkins on Messenger or through threads.
Yeah.
Ask her yourself, what do you believe about this?
Yeah.
I was told that you believe all moms who murder their babies are victims.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't believe that this should be abolished. Ask her, see what she says, and hear it straight from her mouth. But she has said this to abolitionists over the years,
Yeah.
and so she is fervently anti-abolition.
Okay. Yeah.
But most pro-life groups are.
Yeah.
There's a few exceptions, and does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Any other questions or thoughts on all that? That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot to take in. And yeah.
It is a lot to take in.
Yeah. I'll go home and look into it more.
And let's see here. here's I'm just gonna keep.
No, right?
This goes into Kansas specifically, bleeding
Okay, yeah.
Kansas.
Okay, yeah,
It goes into the Value in the Both Amendment, more into that. It goes into the Republican Democrat platforms,
Yeah.
and it just goes into the state of where Kansas is right now with this.
Okay, yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah,
And
it's good to look into. I totally have to skedaddle. But thank you for talking with
So,
us. We appreciate it.
Savannah and
Yes.
Kaylee.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you do have any other questions, feel free to come back.
When are you usually here?
It does vary, but
Okay.
I try to be here between Monday and Wednesday,
Okay, perfect.
and sometimes multiple days in that. Sometimes I'm here Thursdays, but usually try to Monday through somewhere between Monday and Wednesday,
Okay.
and usually it's roughly somewhere between 9 to 1.
Okay, yeah.
But so that just give you an idea. And usually pretty much right here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Well, it's nice
Appreciate
talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you
Likewise.
so much for doing what you're doing.
And I have a
Appreciate you.
Facebook and YouTube if you want to reach out. I mean, or just come ask me here, whichever's,
Easier.
easier. Yeah. So,
Awesome.
but that gives you a lot to work with right
It
there.
does. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thanks for coming by and stopping.
Yeah. Thank you.